Before we get started, make sure to turn on post notification and subscribe to the channel. 10 wrestling legends who will never join WWE's Hall of Fame. Number 10. Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner's accolades speak for themselves. A former World Heavyweight Champion, a Triple Crown winning in WCW, and a 9-time Tag Team Champion with WWE and WCW, he finished his career with a very impressive resume. Steiner was one of WCW's greatest ever stars, and his iconic look is something that no wrestling fan will ever forget. But that doesn't mean he'll find himself as an inductee to the WWE Hall of Fame anytime soon. Vince McMahon is willing to forgive a lot of things, but Steiner has been fairly consistent with his negative comments in regards to WWE, slating the company at every opportunity he gets, and given that he isn't reliable in front of a live audience, WWE isn't going to take a risk of inducting him. Number 9. Marty Jannetty. When people think about Marty Jannetty, they automatically think of the iconic moment that helped skyrocket Shawn Michaels' career, but Jannetty was an incredible solid hand and someone who had a fantastic wrestling career. As a former Intercontinental Champion, Jannetty is certainly a big enough name to warrant an entry, not as the headline act, but you make a great addition to any Hall of Fame card with plenty of old school fans appreciating his work. It seems like Jannetty is interested in the Hall of Fame induction as well, having campaigned for himself to be inducted, but with his difficulties outside of wrestling and the mess of his Twitter account, it isn't likely he'll be given that chance. Number 8. Sable. While she might not have the in-ring skills of Trish Stratus or Lita, Sable brought a unique star power unlike anything that the women's division had ever seen before, with her star power making her one of the top stars in the company. Her segments were often some of the most viewed on the show, and while that was mainly down to her looks, the stats can't be ignored. Sable is also a former women's champion and therefore has the accolades to back up an induction. However, Brock Lesnar's wife seems more than happy to have no connection with wrestling anymore, enjoying time to herself, and she recently turned down a deal to appear at Evolution, showing that she isn't keen to return anytime soon. Number 7. Sabu. WWE always seems hesitant when it comes to inducting former ECW stars, likely because they weren't the company's own creation, with Sabu not being given a major push when it came to an actual WWE career. However, he certainly deserves an induction, as the dedication he placed to the sport is certainly applaudable, putting his body on the line night after night in some of the most brutal matches in wrestling history. It's unlikely that he's bothered either, as he has gone on the record to call WWE Hall of Fame fake and admitted that he only accepted the offer because of the money, something WWE isn't likely to be happy about. Number 6. Demolition. There's a reason that WWE went out of its way to end Demolition's record as the longest tag team champion reign when the New Day came along and took that record from themselves. And that is down to the bad relationship between the company and the legendary tag team. Demolition are considered by many to be the greatest tag team in history, something that is tough to argue, and it's more than a case to be a top act inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. But Vince McMahon is unlikely to welcome them with open arms anytime soon. The tag team joined the class action lawsuit against WWE alongside countless other former wrestlers, and the company likely wants to put a bit of space between them. On top of that, Demolition reportedly won an extra $100,000 to be inducted, and given that they won't be a headline act, WWE isn't looking to spend that sort of money. Number 5. Brian Pillman. Brian Pillman is one of the most underrated wrestlers in history, with his incredible personality helping to set apart from everyone else. But his impact behind the scenes was even more important and something that changed the game. Pillman was influential, with WWE providing guaranteed contracts to its talent, and that is something that all the wrestlers are likely very thankful of. In terms of his in-ring work, his storytelling ability was years ahead of its time, and he's a name that fans often still talk about today. Of course, Pillman had sadly passed away, and it has been reported previously that the reason he isn't inducted is because his wife has refused to allow it, but hopefully one day down the line, he'll be given that spot he deserves. Number 4. Chyna. When it comes to names not being inducted that deserve a spot in the WWE Hall of Fame, the 9th wonder of the world, Chyna, is one that is always brought up, with fans and fellow wrestlers all calling for WWE to do the right thing and induct her. The topic has been brought up before with WWE management, and the main reason that she isn't being inducted is down to her personal life away from WWE, with her huge drug problems and the fact she got into the adult industry after hanging up the boots. Triple H claimed he doesn't want people to Google Chyna and find out that information, but when you consider some of the ridiculous things that other Hall of Famers have said or done, the argument doesn't hold much integrity celebrity, but unfortunately, it seems like WWE is destined to stick to the party line. Number 3. The Hart Foundation. It is rare that WWE inducts full stables into the Hall of Fame, but when it comes to the Hart Foundation, there can be no denying that the group is more than worthy of a huge Hall of Fame induction. Sadly, Bret Hart is the only member left alive, and therefore the need to induct them is even more important, as WWE still has one member of the group who can share first-hand experiences of being part of the show. The Hitman himself has stated that he wants it to happen, but given some of the members' personal status with the company, it seems to be an induction that isn't going to happen, no matter how badly the fans want to see it. Number 2. CM Punk. It is fair to say that WWE and CM Punk did not end things in the best circumstances, with the former WWE champion deciding to walk out on the company and then unloading on them with a podcast where he ruined WWE's reputation. The company clearly didn't take kindly to that, deciding to fire him on his wedding day, which only caused a further rift between them. Punk and WWE have since been involved in a major lawsuit against each other, and the rift has only grown between them. While Vince McMahon is always happy to put personal issues to one side if it's best for business, this is an example where he might not be willing to budge, and even if he is, there's no guarantee CM Punk would even want to accept the offer. Number 1. Owen Hart. While the Hart Foundation certainly deserves a place in the WWE Hall of Fame, there's no doubt that Owen Hart, as a singles wrestler, is one of the most deserving entries that is left to be done when it comes to past wrestlers. This is also not a case of Vince McMahon being stubborn and refusing to give him an induction. Instead, it is down to his widow, who has refused to allow WWE to induct Owen Hart into the Hall of Fame, something that has upset countless wrestling personalities and his fans. His own brother Bret Hart has mentioned it several times that he wants to see Owen inducted, and even Mark Henry made an emotional plea to Martha during his own Hall of Fame induction, showing just how badly people want to see it happen. But at the moment, the situation remains the same.